Hi, everyone. My name is Rui Jing Jiang, and I'm founder and CEO of Avisi Technologies. Thank you so much for coming to this track, and I'm honored to kick it off. At Avisi, we are developing a portfolio of solutions for eye care, and we're leveraging a patented metamaterial platform technology invented at the University of Pennsylvania. Our first device is to treat glaucoma, which I'll give you an update on today, as well as an insight into our emerging pipeline. We've raised over $10 million to date, and our next round, which will be in the ballpark of $15 to $20 million, will be to achieve 510(k) clearance for our VisiPlate product, as well as complete the pivotal trial associated with that pathway. Let's talk about the technology. It's the world's thinnest freestanding material. And what I mean by this is if you think of certain thin films like saran wrap, you quickly realize that you can't pick it up. It crinkles, it sticks to itself. You can't use it for much, especially not minimally invasive surgery. But this technology is many times thinner than saran wrap. It's durable, it's flexible, it's robust, and it's biocompatible. And we have filed applications in the realm of multiple minimally invasive surgeries for eye care, drug release, and cell delivery. Here on the slide, you see a SEM of the surface of our glaucoma drainage device, VisiPlate, how smooth that looks. And then you see that same device suspended on a droplet of water. Glaucoma is the world's leading cause of irreversible blindness. It is an underdiagnosed disease affecting over 100 million patients. At a high level, our eyes are constantly producing and cycling a fluid called aqueous humor. But in eyes with glaucoma, the drainage system is blocked. And this leads to an excess buildup of fluid that ends up applying a lot of pressure on the optic nerve. And it is this pressure that leads to vision loss. Unfortunately, reducing intraocular pressure is the only known way to prevent progression of disease. Currently, however, when you take a look at the treatments out there, you realize that they fail at very high rates across multiple points. From pharmaceutical treatments, including eye drops that have a very high patient non-compliance rate, to laser surgeries and manual surgeries that have a failure rate of close to 50%, implants are really the last line of defense for these patients. Thankfully, we've had a new wave of innovation come into our space called microstents, or minimally invasive glaucoma surgeries. Today, we'll talk about VisiPlate, a standalone subconjunctival glaucoma treatment targeting moderate to severe glaucoma to start. And we're taking this pathway because it's the 510(k) pathway, enabling us to get to market as quickly as possible to serve our patients. This is a very rapidly growing space with over 15% growth rate year over year. Treatments for these patients today look like this. We have the trabeculectomy, which is a standard surgery that's been around for over 100 years. The physician makes a flap inside the eye, hoping that it drains the right amount of fluid. However, post-op complications abound, like overly low pressure, scarring, bleeding, and leaking. Microstents have grown in popularity over the last decade. These are thin tubes the length and thickness of an eyelash. Unfortunately, they can clog, scar, or migrate. And tube shunts have been on the market for about 2 decades. These are thick drainage plates about the size and surface area of a nickel sitting in your eye, connected to a large drainage tube. These are lengthy surgeries with complications like double vision or healthy tissue erosion. And with all this in mind, we designed VisiPlate. This is an ultra-thin shunt designed to avoid occlusion. We do this by using non-fibrotic materials, meaning they don't scar, by having a multi-channel design to create redundancy of flow, and by having a surface area to maintain that space over time. We're many times thinner than a human hair. You can see it balanced on the tip of the fingertip, or maybe you can't. And it's our technology that ensures handleability despite this scale. We are implanted in the subconjunctival space. That's between the clear membrane of tissue in your eye and the thick white layer, and the tip sits between the iris and cornea. Our device allows the pent-up fluid to drain through a network of microchannels in a slow and controlled way, reducing pressure over time. And that body, that surface area, maintains the space. We've been able to demonstrate competitive safety and effectiveness in clinical trials outside of the US. This is data from a multi-center safety and feasibility study. And what you see here is that VisiPlate may be the first device to achieve what we call the 10-10-10 goal, a 10-minute procedure leading to a 10 millimeter of mercury ending eye pressure over the course of 10 years. And you can see, compared to existing minimally invasive glaucoma surgeries, just how effective VisiPlate is. We're having stable, lower pressures maintained over time compared to these marketed devices with easy post-operative management. We have no intraoperative or severe sight-threatening adverse events seen in other devices. And importantly, patient comfort and aesthetics are preserved, while also reducing medication burden. Our patients started out with an average of over 2 medications to treat their disease, and by month 9, we're at an average of 0.7. I also want to highlight that VisiPlate is uniquely effective across a wide range of baselines. Our first subject here is an 18-year-old subject with an intraocular pressure of 40 millimeters of mercury. She was on 4 medications at baseline. But by month 3, we are seeing a 76% reduction in her baseline IOP. Her medications have dropped from 4 to 0, and we've had no postoperative management, no needling or any other interventions. Our second subject here is a different story. 60-year-old patient with a starting baseline of around 19 millimeters of mercury on 3 medications. By month 9, we're 52% lower in her intraocular pressure, no medications, and again, no needling or postoperative management. In the OCT below, you can see Visiplate placed inside the eye. It's highlighted with the blue arrows. And you can see just how thin the profile of our device is, communicating fluid from the anterior chamber into the drainage space. On the reimbursement side, we're targeting a Class 1 CPT code 66183, which will enable physicians and facilities to rapidly adopt Visiplate into their practice. And this is just the beginning. We have a couple other programs in our pipeline, the second being a program for mild to moderate glaucoma surgery. And this is in the preclinical stage, as well as a third program which targets sustained drug delivery and which was recently funded by the National Science Foundation. A quick introduction into Visiplate S. This is our product for a combination glaucoma cataract surgery targeting the mild to moderate patient. This device is meant to support a wave of interventional glaucoma, as these milder patients are often caught at the time of their cataract surgery. It's applying Visiplate technology to the supraciliary space using the same concepts of non-fibrotic materials, multi-channel design, and surface area. Our device, Visiplate S here, will be placed at the same time as the cataract surgery through the same incisions, enabling physicians to treat patients earlier in the paradigm, and importantly, preserving real estate inside the globe should their disease progress and should they need a Visiplate device down the line. In the time that I have left, I just want to touch upon our timeline. Again, we're raising $15 to $20 million to support our pivotal study, enabling us to achieve market clearance for Visiplate in late 2026. Some of these funds will also go on to support the programs that we have in our pipeline, which we spoke about today, Visiplate S, as well as V1, our sustained drug delivery candidate. We've raised over $10 million to date. Some of our investors are in the room. Shout out to Good Growth Capital, for example, for believing in us and supporting our journey. A little bit about the team. We are 8 people in Redwood City, supported by a very expert board. Gary Pruden is the former worldwide chairman of medical devices at Johnson & Johnson. Dr. Catherine Moore, who gave the keynote speech today, is the president of the Intuitive Foundation at Intuitive Surgical. Paul Norris is from Acanto Partners. Barry Cheskin is a strategic advisor. He is a serial entrepreneur, with his most recent exit being an advanced intraocular lens that was sold to Alcon. On the full-time side, we have Jeff Emery, who is our Senior VP of Operations and R&D with over 25 years of medical device development experience. Georgia Griggs, who is a master in nanofabrication, nanotechnology, and Kim Du, who led the clinical trials for PowerVision. Last slide here. Our clinical advisors, without whom we would not be here, Dr. Edie Miller-Ellis, who is Chief of Glaucoma at the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Rick Lewis, who is the past president of the American Glaucoma Society, Dr. John Myers, who is Chief of Glaucoma at Wills Eye Hospital, Thomas Jefferson University, Dr. Isan Sadri, who owns a network of private clinics in California, and Visionary Eye Institute, Dr. Ike Ahmed, who is known as the father of minimally invasive glaucoma surgery, Dr. George Durr, professor at University of Montreal, and Dr. Vance Thompson of Vance Thompson Vision. So today we covered a lot of updates on Visiplate and Avisi. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you all outside of the room.